You know that David Foster Wallace story of two young fish swimming in the ocean, and an older fish swims by and says to the younger fish, "Hey guys, how's the water today?" Older fish continues swimming, and after a sort of long pause, one fish says to the other, "What is water?" So I think what water is to fish, concepts are to humans. I think the things we can think are never arbitrary at any given moment in time. What we can think depends on the concepts we have available, the conceptual configurations we're born into, of the language that we're born into. And I can put this very strongly and basically say the concepts we have available determine the space of possibility within which we can think. They do not necessarily determine what an individual is thinking at a given moment in time, but they determine the framework within which we're thinking. Now, in my experience, each time when I point that out, people are insulted. Like they're really badly insulted because they think that they're absolutely free to think whatever they want to think. And that is noble. That is praiseworthy. You know, I actually love that. But it's naive nonetheless. It's what I would call a harmony of illusion. Yes, thinking is never arbitrary, it is concept dependent. And once you appreciate this, once you recognize this and appreciate this, you want to do a couple of things. One is you become curious about other possibilities of thinking that have existed or still exist across the world. You become interested in the history of thought. What are the history of the conceptual assumptions that have existed over time, and how did they enable people to think? You also become interested in the possibility of thinking differently from how we have been thinking thus far. And so you want to learn to think new things that were not possible for us to think before. For this kinds of practice, for this kinds of curiosity to become possible, you have to shift your register of thinking. You have to shift from thinking about things in the world, thinking about trees, about clouds, about water, to thinking about thinking. You have to examine your own thinking or the thinking of others according to the assumptions that they make, to the conceptual presuppositions that they make. And you have to then try to write the history of these presuppositions, right? And when you do this, something really interesting happens. And that is, you recognize, when you think about thinking and you discover these conceptual presuppositions, you discover that the more concepts you know, the more you can think, the more the space of freedom you have available for yourself to navigate, to order things, to think things through, to react to things. Deliberation could mean I increase my freedom by way of thinking. And the second thing that you notice is each time you let go of one of your taken for granted conceptual assumptions of which you didn't even know that they determine how you think, you experience a moment of bliss. You experience a moment of happiness. And that's why I think that there is an intrinsic relation between thinking and freedom. Or as Foucault said, thinking makes pretty.